Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome back to KrabsFx. Today, we're going to be backtesting a whole month of my new model that I've been working on. It's similar to my old model. It's still like ICT concepts, but I'm just switching up how I do my entries. Now I'm entering on the lower time frames, like the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, or 5 minute. And pretty much I'm using inverse fair value gaps. If you guys don't know who Dodgy'S is, it's pretty much his strategy. I'm basically just looking for liquidity sweeps and inverse fair value gaps. Like, for example, I'll just show one right here that worked in hindsight. Like right here, something like this. Target 1, target 2, and whatever target you want. But yeah, pretty much I'm just looking for a sweep of liquidity and a inverse fair value gap on the lower time frames, like right here. This is just an example before I get into the next clip, which I'm gonna be actually speeding up the back testing of the entire month. I actually already finished it, but this is just like an intro video. But yeah, it pretty much took like about 4 or 5 hours to do the whole month of data. But at the end of the video, if you don't want to watch all of it, just skip over to the end and I'm gonna review the whole month of the data that I got on the strategy and my experience with it. So pretty much this is like a pretty clear example of what I'm looking for. Pretty much looking for a sweep on buy side, a 1 minute or like lower time frame inverse fair value gap. I mean, this isn't the best example because there's like 2 here, but yeah, this is pretty clean example. Close below the fair value gap and then target your internal liquidity. Target 1 could move to break even here, target 2, and targets down here. But yeah, at the end of this video, I'm going to be breaking down all the data that I got on this strategy. I got data on a whole month, and yeah, stay till the end or skip till the end if you want to see how this performs. And I am doing my usual top-down analysis, like starting on the daily time frame, looking if anything on the daily needs to be rebalanced. Like for example, like here, daily rebalance. And then I'm going down to the 4 hour, marking out fair value gaps, marking out, yeah, pretty much just fair value gaps. So like I'll mark up this one here, then down to the 1 hour, same thing. I wouldn't mark out all these, but because this is a 4 hour, but yeah, so I'm doing that, hopping down to the 15, same thing, marking out fair value gaps, marking out buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity. And then I'm also marking up like the previous day. Like in the clips that are gonna be after this intro, you're gonna see that I'm like doing this here. What I'm doing is I'm marking up the previous day so that then I can mark up like previous day's high. You're gonna see me mark that up. Pretty much marking up previous day's highs, previous day's lows down here. Session highs and lows, like Asia session and London high and low. So yeah, the next clip is gonna be the sped up version. So yeah, enjoy if you want to watch through it all, or just skip till the end. Okay, so we have made it till the end of the backtesting session. Took about like, if we look over here, took about like 4 hours to get through the whole month, which is actually a little bit faster than it takes me in the past, which is good. I'm getting better at backtesting quicker. But yeah, we just grinded out that month, and here are the results. Pretty solid month, if I'm being honest. Pretty high win rate here, 75% win rate, which would have been a lot higher if I didn't take this L at the end. Let's see, what was this L at the end? But yeah, overall, hold up. Pretty much here was the L at the end. Looks like it was a valid setup. We had liquidity sweep, 1 minute inverse, and we just didn't, it looks like we pushed into profits a little bit, but we didn't fully hit our break-even target. So that's that L. Let's just see what would a win rate be if this wasn't the L. So yeah, if we didn't take the last L, we would be around 80% win rate. So I just wanted to note that, because on this last trade I was actually like considering just not taking any more trades, because yeah, up on the month it would have been 7.9%. But yeah, that doesn't matter. But yeah, here's the month right here. As you can see, on NASDAQ we did April 2023. Here was my trading window, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I only allow myself 1 to 2 trades per day. So like, for example, if I took one win on the day, like right here you see the 5th, I would only allow that to be my trade for the day. So to prevent over trading, to prevent like greed, FOMO, anything, 1 W on the day, I'm done. And pretty much if I took an L to start the day, I was allowed to take another trade, so that's why it's like 1 to 2 bullets a day. Or if I took a break even as the first trade of the day, I allow myself to take another trade. And yeah, pretty solid month though. The main thing that I was aiming for this month was a solid win rate, which we definitely got here. But yeah, let's just go over some of these. Started off with a break even here. Right here, so this was a break even, but it did play out perfectly. So pretty much here we had sell side liquidity raid, and then we had this 1 minute inverse for value gap, and then right here, where did we move to break even? Oh yeah, right here, when this new internal buy side liquidity, yeah, as you can see I marked it new buy side, moved my stop loss to break even, but unfortunately we got wicked, which will happen sometimes, and that's fine because a break-even trade is still a winning trade. So let's go over to the next trade here. Looks like we caught this short here. So you can see right here we had buy side raid. We're on the 1 minute time frame as well. As you can see, we do have our top down analysis. So like you can see here, we have the daily rebalance. We have like, we're probably inside of 1 hour for value gap here. But yeah, pretty much just to break this trade down, liquidity sweep over buy side liquidity here, beautiful sweep here, and then we inversed this 1 minute for value gap right here when this 1 minute closed below, and then I entered on off of that, and I had some nice low resistance liquidity here. I almost forgot what that was called, LRL, but this is like a solid target because you have this built up liquidity here that's sitting. And I don't know, I just see people draw this up as like a trend line, but low resting liquidity right there. And that was a beautiful target. As you can see how price drew to smash through that. But yeah, let's go over to the next one. Oh, we did have a few days of like no good setups, which, let's just see some of the price action. Price was still moving. We just didn't have anything that I liked. Like, I mean, let's see, looking back. Like, see, liquidity sweep, but we didn't really inverse anything. Like, here would have almost been a setup, but I wouldn't take this because we did not inverse this. Let's see, can I draw here? Not sure. Yeah, no, I can't draw, but yeah, so no entries for a few days, which is all good. I was patient, I was waiting. And then next day here, we caught another 1-to-1 here. Same thing again. As you can see, these setups are pretty mechanical. Like, it's a pretty simple system. Liquidity rate here on the 1 minute once again. Inverse this 1 minute fair value gap, and boom, straight to the next sell side liquidity level, which when I was there, I moved my stop loss to break even, and that's pretty self-explanatory. And let's go over to the next trade. Right here, liquidity rate. Not the best liquidity rate ever, but this was a solid setup. I'm sure, let's see, do we follow? Also right here, I got marked up like daily bias. I like to look at the previous daily candle, how it closed, and what the higher time frames like the daily and 1 hour are targeting as like a draw on liquidity. Like, is price targeting previous day's highs, price targeting a session high or low, like London high or Asia low, or vice versa. And yeah, that's how I determine my daily bias, but I don't always follow it. Like, with this strategy, I don't really have to follow a daily bias, really. The most important thing is that liquidity sweep and having that like liquidity rate and then inverse of the 1 minute. Boom, 1 minute closed above, boom, entry right there. And stop loss at the lows of the bodies. I used to have stops like at the wick, but then I noticed that these inverse fair value gaps are like kind of like momentum trading in a way. Not exactly, but well, I mean, I would say it is momentum trading, because when we inverse a gap, we have really high momentum most of the time. But here we kind of did mess around a little bit. We pulled back into drawdown, and right when price formed this new buy side liquidity, I told myself I'm gonna move stop loss to break even, which I did. And because once price hits that level, it could reject and treat it like a liquidity raid like it did here. But yeah, nice 1-to-1 right there. Was risk free after this high was smacked. But yeah, let's go over right here. Looks like we got a good loss here. Let's see, this looked like a good setup, maybe just not the best liquidity raid. I mean, yeah, it looks like price was just way too much in a like downward momentum, so this could have been why the setup failed. But I mean, we did get like a liquidity grab below these lows. This isn't the best candle closure right there, but yeah, just not the best momentum. That's the main reason I think that this failed. But it was a valid setup. Liquidity raid, 1 minute inverse, had a nice target right here, buy side, which I was going to move my stop loss to break even. Or I could also take partials here, but I'm just like closing full for right now. But yeah, on to the next. So we got a good loss right there. Right here, we got a nice trade. Looks like we had a London low raid, which I love seeing session highs and lows rated, because reactions off of those session highs and lows are pretty nice. Like, as you can see right here, we had a nice play. Right here, we got London low swept for liquidity. And then we also had this low swept as well. And then we had this 1 minute inverse fair value gap right here. Price pushed up, but then the 1 minute close right here. Entry on the next candle after we closed above this 1 minute. And boom, just target the next buy side liquidity level for a 1.9 risk to reward. And I did move my stop loss to break even here pretty aggressively when we hit this 2 minute fair value gap. So I was playing it safe here. Previous trade was L, so wanted to play it safe. And yeah, that was pretty clean. Let's see, right here we got a good loss here. Let's see, nice liquidity sweep, maybe I say not the best liquidity sweep once again. That could be something I gotta focus more on. Making sure it's a very good liquidity sweep. Like a sweep above like these highs up here would have been better. But yeah, right here looks like we had this buy side liquidity level swept, and then we had this 1 minute inverse fair value gap price on the 1 minute close below right here, entry right here. I think the reason I took this was because I like the risk to reward to the next sell side liquidity level, which is why I didn't really care about having a huge liquidity sweep, which looking back I would definitely take something like this again, because for the risk to reward it's definitely worth it to take this inverse. We did have a liquidity raid, could have been a better liquidity raid above these highs, but it's never going to be perfect, so it was definitely worth the risk there. But yeah, good loss there. And right here, next trade, we took a dub 1-to-1. Same thing again, pretty simple sweep of sell side liquidity. This was probably some higher time frame sell side liquidity, since I marked it out with like a horizontal line here. So pretty major sell side liquidity level. Most likely was some equal lows and equal highs are definitely good things to look out for too that I've been noticing. But yeah, liquidity sweep right here. Inverse this 1 minute fair value gap, closed above it, and then boom, entry right here. We messed around here a little bit, went back into drawdown. I didn't move to break even yet because we didn't hit this any buy side yet. But yeah, then price pushed up, hit this new internal buy side liquidity, move my stop to break even, risk free, and just targeted 1-to-1 there above this buy side liquidity. But yeah, pretty clean trade there. Same system, liquidity raid, inverse fair value gap, target buy side liquidity. But yeah, on to the next trade here. I know I'm breaking down like all of these, but probably shouldn't break down all of them. I mean, I'm gonna just break down like most of them. Bunch of break evens here, but right here we had a buy side liquidity raid. We had a 1 minute inverse fair value gap right here, close below, entry right here. Just targeted sell side liquidity. Move my stop loss to break even here, sell side liquidity. Looks like we were also delivering off of 5 minute, which is nice to see. Like when you see price deliver off of another fair value gap like previously, that's something that I've noticed is pretty nice too. But let me go to, I want to see one that's like a 2 minute entry. As you can see, like most of these, say about 99% of my trades were on the 1 minute here, now that I'm looking at this. But right here we got one on the 2 minute. Let's see this, it was a win, 1-to-1. Let's see here. So this was a 2 minute one. The reason I entered on the 2 minute, or right here it says 1 minute, but entry was on the 2 minute, was because there was a larger 2 minute fair value gap inside of the current 1 minute. So as you can see here on the 1 minute, there's this small 1 minute gap here, but then right here you can see I marked out that 2 minute fair value gap. So when I see something like that, you always want to take the highest time frame close above the fair value gap that you're entering on, if that makes sense. So like say you see a 2 minute fair value gap here, you have to wait for a 2 minute candle closure above it to enter. Or say you have a 5 minute fair value gap that you're waiting to get inversed, you gotta wait for a 5 minute close, not just a 1 minute, not just a 2 minute. You gotta wait for that 5 minute close, because you don't want to enter on like a 1 minute while you're inside like a 2 minute here. So that's why right here, this 2 minute inversed, it just barely inversed, but it did close above. I zoomed in before, but I can't zoom in right now. But this closed above here, entry right here on the inverse on the 2 minute, stop loss at the lows of the bodies here. right here, stop loss to break even here at this internal buy side liquidity level, and I just targeted this buy side level right here. With these inverses, I also used to like take partials and leave runners, but I've noticed it's not really worth it for me personally, unless it's just like a small partial and then leaving more of the position to run. Because like what I used to do, I used to just close like 50% of my position at like 1-to-1 and leave it run to 1-to-2. So in the end, I would only make like 1R, so it really wouldn't be worth it. I think that taking partials could be worth it if you're only closing like a little bit, like at a level that could react, and then leaving like maybe close like 25% here, which is a really small amount. So you need my voice. So you need like a good amount of capital if you're going to be doing that, but that's just something I've noticed. So I've noticed for me personally, it's not like of my best interest to close like 50% and then leave the runner here, because the end profit would still be like 1R, like 1R of what I risk. But yeah, for taking partials, for me personally in the future, if I'm gonna have to take partials ever, which this could be an opportunity where partials could have been taken, I could close like maybe like a small partial, like 25% maybe. I don't want to close 50% because I feel like that's a little bit too much, but maybe like close like 25%, leave the runners to the next target and make it a bigger trade. But yeah, in this data, I was pretty much just closing like 1-to-1, 1 to almost 1-to-2. But yeah, just taking what the market gave me. Right here, we're going to go over, let's see this break even here. So this was a tough break even here. It did hit 1-to-1 RR. So you can see I marked up, let's see. Right here I marked up, it did hit 1-to-1 risk to reward. But I wanted to hold for this low right here, which we unfortunately didn't get. We got tapped break even here with that wick, which is pretty unfortunate, but it happens, and it was worth the risk here for this setup. I didn't want to take any partials at 1-to-1, so yeah, that's that. We had relative highs here, which are basically like almost like equal highs, but they're just not completely equal. So yeah, relative highs swept here for liquidity, so that gave us the momentum to the downside. Then we inversed this 1 minute fair value gap here, closed below it on the 1 minute, boom, entry right there. Had my stop at the bodies of the candles, and basically on this push right here, this is what Dodgy likes to call. If you don't know who Dodgy is, that's my that's my mentor right now. But this is called like a death candle. When you see a high momentum candle like this, move my stop loss to break even, because after all this momentum, you don't want to see a wick back into your entry. You just want to see continuation, which if you look at this 1 minute candle, we did get, but we just couldn't reach for these lows right here, which I really thought we would hit. That's the reason I didn't take any partials or anything, because it was pretty high probability, but we just barely, looks like we swept this low right here, which on the 30-second time frame was maybe some internal liquidity over there. But yeah, I was just holding this. This would have been about a 1 to 1 point something. I don't know. Maybe 1.5 or maybe a little bit less. 1.4 R, maybe something like that. And let's go over this trade here. Nice win here. We had buy side liquidity rated here above this high. Nice wick. Stopped people out, grabbed liquidity, grabbed orders from up here. Boom, gave us nice momentum to the downside. I saw this bullish for value gap right here on the 1 minute. Boom, we closed below it on the 1 minute, and boom, entry right there. Stop loss at the high. Target sell side liquidity for a 1-to-1 risk to reward. And let's see what I moved, or what I said here. Stop loss move to break even on this push here, because I didn't want to take an L on this now, and I don't want to see a retrace to entry. So pretty much same thing as I said right here about these like high momentum candles. When I see these like big pushes right here on the second candle here, I didn't want to see any retracement back into drawdown after giving momentum like this. I just wanted to see price push through the sell side liquidity, which we did very nicely here. So I moved my stop to break even. But yeah, pretty simple here. Let's go over the last trade, a good loss here. Let's see if this was valid. Sell side liquid or buy side liquidity here rated for, I'm just saying liquidity a million times. Buy side liquidity here rated for liquidity. 1 minute inverse fair value gap right here, close below, boom, entry right here. Stop at the high of the bodies of the candles, and we pushed into profits a little bit. I was gonna go break even at this low right here, or honestly I probably would have went break even at the break of this low, but we didn't fully push there, so I couldn't move to break even. But yeah, L trade here, it did look valid. It's not the best that we had candles closing above here, definitely not the best thing you want to see, but I did count that as a liquidity sweep. I was looking for a retracement of this move here. We had unfilled 3 minute fair value gap as a target as well. But yeah, pretty much on the month ending at plus 6.9% profit. Here's some risk to reward data I've been getting, pretty much equal. So I was just noting down if holding till 1 to 2 RR would make sense, but it's, as you can see right here, it's actually identically equal to 1-to-1, which I notice is very similar in other months of backtesting too. But yeah, let me just go through the trading plan here. I forgot to mention this before, but yeah, pretty much trading time. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of the PM because I don't even like trading PM. But yeah, right here, my trading window, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. High probability time, high volume time, and trading pairs only nasdaq. And I like to look at the S&P or the ES for any SMT divergences, which is basically like when one makes a higher low and one makes a lower low. You can look at those two because they're highly correlated. But I didn't really do that in the backtesting because it's just tough in backtesting to switch between like two pairs every time. But yeah, overall, pretty solid month here. So yeah, trade setup. Basically, this is like basically all that I was looking for is a liquidity sweep plus a inverse for value gap on the highest time frame from the 1 to the 5 minute. But in addition to this, I was doing like my top down analysis, so marking up daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, and 1 minute fair value gaps, as well as marking up previous day's highs, session highs and lows, like Asia high and low, London high and low. Looking for pretty much those are some areas of high probability liquidity. When those get swept, I always see nice reactions off of them. But yeah, here's some confirmations I got. Yeah, I don't always have to target. This is just like additional confirmation if you target an unfilled fair value gap. But yeah, it's pretty much my trading plan. If you guys want to grab this for yourselves and fill it out for your own plan, make your own trading plan similar to this, you can just plug in your own stuff. Link is in my Discord. Link is in the description to my Discord. So yeah, grab that for yourselves. If you guys aren't in my Discord, why are you not in there? Building my community here. Yeah, other people are also working on new models here. But yeah, hop in here. Link is in the description. We got some good people in here joining up. But yeah, pretty much on the month, ending at plus 6.9% profit, 75% win rate. Here we had 9 wins, 3 losses, which is very good. I love seeing very low losses on the month. I would rather take a ton of break evens, ton of risk-free trades than taking losing trades. But yeah, pretty much secured mostly one-to-ones, had a string of B trades that realistically, yeah, that's true what I noted here. Realistically, this string of break-even trades would be like some wins in here too, because let's see, let me grab a good example here. What I noted there was like some of these would have just been scalps, like as you can see right here. I just moved stop loss to break even at the first sell side level, which was this one right here. But yeah, some of these just would have been scalps, like take profit right there, or it's just, I didn't do that for this back testing because it's just really bad RR, but very high probability. So I mean here, yeah, this one just didn't play out, but break even, still a win. Yeah, like this for example, could have taken profit here at the sell side right there. But like for the backtesting data, I just only wanted to take like one-to-one risk to rewards minimum. So what I noted there was that some of these break evens would actually just be smaller risk to reward wins. But yeah, break even, that's what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the month of April 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, if you actually made it till the end, comment Krabs, and I'm gonna get more of these out there. Put a lot of effort into this. It's more for myself, if I'm being honest. Like, let's see, we logged in for 4 hours here gathering this data. But yeah, until next time, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Helps me out a lot if you guys subscribe. I'm trying to hit 300 subs. We're at like 200, which is crazy. Thank you guys for everything. And until next time, peace.